To a fallen soldier, which was my best friend who was killed in Vietnam. I had a picture of him.
What is his name?
Billy Farrell. He was a hillbilly, a true hillbilly. And his name was Billy.
This is you, right? That's Billy.
That's him. That's correct.
The true hillbilly.
His parents didn't even name him William, they just named him Billy.
Billy.
Solid earth guy though, really good kid. He's only 18 when he died. And at that time,
Were you there when he died?
no, I was. He was there when I was wounded. He died about 5 weeks later, or was killed 5 weeks later. But at that time, it may still be the case that congressional legislation, an 18-year-old cannot serve in a combat zone without parental approval. So his daddy died in the senior year of high school, so he dropped out of high school to join the Army to help the family out. So he'd send money back to his family. And his mama signed for him to go to Vietnam. And he had like 7 children, I think. In a few words, we won the battles and lost the war. My unit, the 173rd Airborne Brigade, was one of the first units in country, and was one of the most decorated units. And the brigade during the Vietnam War had 12 Medal of Honor awardees. That's the most in history for a single brigade. And the brigade was stingy about awarding medals. Most people that were written up for a Silver Star was downgraded to a Bronze Star. The Medal of Honor, the ones that were written up for a Medal of Honor were downgraded to a Distinguished Service Cross, and so on. But we still had 12. I don't know that any of them survived.
When you think back, do you have bitterness about why you were there, or why did any
Well,
of
it
that?
depends. When you say think back, you mean from
Looking back now.
looking back now from this old body? I don't have any bitterness at all.
Right.
If you would have asked me prior to 9/11/01, I would say, yeah, I had a lot of bitterness.
How did that change you?
It had a profound effect on me. I personally was devastated for a few weeks. Just that could happen. And that we let it happen. And here we are back fighting wars again, man to man, mano a mano, when we've got the technology to blow the enemy off the earth from a desk.
What do you think that it should go further? That we should use all the technology we have to?
I think we should just quit playing around and putting men mano a mano against the enemy. I don't see any sense in that. When we have the technology to neutralize them, if that means annihilate them, then let's annihilate them. I mean,
But it sounds like
that sounds hard, but you're talking about a culture of people now who think it's cool to chop somebody's head off. You know, the Japanese said that we will fight you to every last man, woman, and child. And when we showed them what that looked like, they immediately surrendered.
You're right about that. How do you think that your service in Vietnam most affected you? If you had to?
Oh, it made a man out of me in a hurry. And I'm still immensely proud of it. I was what you call a triple volunteer. I volunteered to enlist in the Army, I volunteered for airborne infantry, and I volunteered to go to Vietnam. And the uniqueness of being airborne is that the entire unit is volunteers. You can't be drafted in the airborne. You could be drafted into the Army, but you had to volunteer to go airborne. So